What's going on, peeps? It's your boy Scarfinger, and this is another painting. Well, technically it's two paintings, because what had happened was I did a painting. As you can see, I'm showing you the paints that I used. The details are in the description. And I did two paintings. One of them I messed up horribly, and I'll tell you exactly when I knew I messed up. But for the most part, these are uncut. It's two paintings, and then I do a close-up of the second painting. So I got the idea to use these colors, orange, purple, and teal, from another YouTuber. As you can see right now, I'm using my treadmill silicone on inside of the paints before I mix everything up. But yeah, so I got the ideas from some people on YouTube, and I wanted to try to do like my own spin on it, and I thought I was doing something kind of cool, and it turned out to be an absolute disaster. So I'm pouring in my white as my base, and then I'm gonna put my colors in. I'm gonna sit it to the side, and then I'm gonna pour white over it, and then pour it onto the painting. And then I get the bright idea that I'm gonna blow on it. Now, I'm a novice at this. I haven't been like too deep into it, but I should have known when I started this that this was a terrible idea, like a really stinking terrible idea to blow it, because it didn't look that bad to start off with, but I just made it worse, and then I just kept making it worse, because at that point I was panicking more than anything. I was just panicking about trying to make sure that I got something out of this painting. I'm not really a fan of scraping, especially not for a painting this size. It's 11 by 14. So put my white on, spread it on with my plastic thing. You know what? I think I'm gonna try to get something a little bit better. And as you can see, my white is pretty thick. I should have thinned it out a little bit more. I did, however, thin it out a lot on the second painting. I thinned it out a lot more. It was still pretty stinking thick. Just moving it around. But yeah, man, so I appreciate everybody. While I'm moving this white around, there ain't really much to see here. Like I said, I wasn't gonna cut it much. So while I move this right around, I want to thank everybody for checking your boy out, checking out the Facebook page, Peace Through Colors Arts and Crafts, and checking your boy out, Scarfinger, on the Instagram. My Instagram is popping, bruh. Like, it's really about that. And yes, I did just say forget it and just start wiping the thing with my fingers. And then, since I knew I didn't want to cut the video very much, I ended up normally I'll go over and stick my hand in a thing with some water and stuff like that, and kind of rinse my hands off. But I because I knew I didn't want to cut this very much, I just wiped my hands on my apron, which is a little bit too small. If we're being honest with each other, it's a little bit too small. So yeah, that happened. So then now the idea was just to pour it, and not like try to do like a tornado pour or a circle pour, however you want to call it. It was just to, I tried to do a little bit of that, but it was just to kind of pour it out and let the colors kind of play together. So I do that, and as of right now, doesn't look that bad, but I'm gonna get the bright idea to blow on it, and that one right there, that's when I knew I fucked up. Immediately I knew I messed up with that blow, and then I was like, well, I'm already here now, so I just kept blowing. And then once I got finished doing that, blowing on it in that way, then it was pretty much panic mode. trying to figure out, okay, so what are you going to do now? How are you going to fix this? So I use my heat gun to try to pop the bubbles, and I know that I am very much in trouble at this point. And you can see at this point, it is not that bad. You can still see the colors. Everything seems to be perfectly fine. But the moment I start shifting it around, it becomes very brown, super brown. So it just turns into mud, as the artists that I listen to, a lot of them say it turns into mud. I should have stopped right there. Like right there is where I should have stopped. I didn't necessarily stop there, and I just kept making it worse because the colors aren't that bad right there. But I as I said, I was totally in panic mode, and I could have just left the white space on the sides and been done with it and just let it react and do what it was going to do. But nope, I couldn't leave it alone. So after trying to move it a little bit, at this point I knew I was done with this painting, so I just went ahead and just tilted it to the edges because I knew that it was not really going to be what I was looking for. I could have just left it alone. I should have just left it alone, but I couldn't just leave it alone. And then on top of it, I'm going to make it much worse. It still doesn't look too bad right here. So I come up with the bright idea. Instead of just leaving it alone, I decide to make it worse. So I'm going to make it worse. And I told you, right now, you know, at that time, I was in complete panic mode. Like, this didn't go well at all. So I pull out a straw and I just start making lines. And there was no real rhyme or reason to this. I just said, you know what, if I'm already done with this painting, I might as well just play. And that was just my whole thought process about it. It was just like, you know what, I might as well just play. There's no reason to try to be like cool about it now. Like, I already messed this up. So yeah, I do like that effect. I just don't like, I just didn't like this painting and what I did to it. So after that, I am going to do another one. But you see, I'm just making lines. Now, this was surprisingly one of the most popular ones on Instagram when I posted it. People seem to really like it, but I knew I jacked this up. Like, I knew in my heart I jacked this up. And like the pouring, the blowing on it, and like how it kind of came back, how blowing on it brought out the white underneath, and then when it came back together, it kind of looked like I don't know whether you call it, like, it's kind of looked like stitches or whatever you call it. I like that idea. I really like that idea. I might try to use it in a painting where I don't feel as embarrassed by it, I guess you could say. But this is, this is really just what I did that day. And, so now I'm trying to cover the corners. And I will do some corner touching up. But I already knew that this painting was done for. Like, there ain't no way, to me, there was no way that I was going to be able to sell this thing. Which, if you follow the Facebook page, facebook.com/PTCAC, Peace Through Colors, Arts and Crafts, I have shipped off some of my paintings. Some of the paintings are actually gone, which is amazing because I still have what feels like a million paintings left here to try to figure out how to, give away, sell, whatever. They got to go. I got to get them up out of here. So go to the website, facebook.com Peace Through Colors, Arts and Crafts, and try to, right now week 3 is up. That contest is going to close soon, and we are going to be giving that one away, also giving one of the paintings for that week. But I have been doing a little bit extra because I need to get some of this stuff out of here. So if you do the contest, there's a good chance you might get more than one. A good chance, like a really good chance that you might get more than one. Like a super good chance, like the goodest of chances. For real. So as far as this goes, I'm just kind of touching up the sides, and I'm really kind of done with it. But you know, I used enough paint to do what I was trying to do. I didn't mix up any more paint. I probably should have, because even with me touching up the sides, that's literally me reaching my hands in the cup to pull out the white paint. The little bit that was still on the sides and at the bottom of the cup, and then I get the bright idea about wanting to put another one of those stitches up the middle, so I dribble what's left. You see me scraping the cup for some white paint, and I get the bright idea that I'm just gonna do that and blow it again. Terrible actual idea. It was just not smart. I don't think any of this was smart. Like, I could have done this with certain colors, but not these colors, because they were always, especially the purple and the orange, they were always gonna make a brown. There was a clump in there. I tried to get it out. I tried to stick it and get it out, and it wasn't working, so I just had to I just had to drag it off the edge, basically. So yeah, that one's done. So that's where I left it, and then we're gonna go to the other painting. Okay, so this, I used the exact same colors. I mixed up my white thinner, and I did not put any silicone in. I believe they do have alcohol in them, 91% alcohol, but I did not put any silicone in this. So I wanted to just do something. I wanted to do something a little bit different, kind of the same but a little bit different, without me getting a lot of the brown. I wanted to do a pour, but not necessarily a flip cup, and I wanted to not blow on it and get the brown. So here's my second attempt, and I'm going for it. I'm going to get it, as we say. And I'm pouring through, even though part of me was like, oh, you might actually be pouring more brown. I was getting ready to pour it on the canvas, and then I realized I wanted to put the white down first. And this white is much thinner than the previous white. I still need a better tool to spread it around. So this one, I just used a popsicle stick, or whatever you want to call it, the craft stick or whatever. It's a popsicle stick. Like, get out of here. So I did that to kind of move it around a little bit, and you can see it's much thinner. If you were paying attention the first time, you can see that the consistency of this is a lot thinner, and the way that it's dripping off the edges. I'm moving around a little bit. I'm not really trying that hard. I just wanted to get something down underneath it all. But I did see one lady on YouTube actually uses a comb, like a hair comb, in order to spread, like when she's pouring down a base, like what I just did with the white. She actually uses that to spread it around, and because it's flow acrylic, the way that it flows through the teeth of the comb actually works out very well for her. And this one, I wanted to do a pour. It was something else I saw on YouTube. I mean, I learned how to do all this on YouTube, but it was basically like pouring it out, but kind of jerking back and forth. So it kind of makes a, it kind of makes a design in the pour, kind of like the idea for the tornado pour, but more just kind of pushing it over and over again. That's what I was going for here. Now I wanted to make sure I got everything out of there. You can already see that there's a lot of cell action this time, and I mean, all in all, heat gun. All in all, this turned out to be a much better painting with the colors discernible from each other, and they didn't just all make brown. That was the most important thing. The most important thing was not to make more, not to make a lot of brown or mud, as a lot of people call it. So I'm just making sure that the bubbles are popped. I'm gonna need a torch soon too. Oh, you can see I'm wearing my drawers. And then another clump. I think one of the purples that I used had been sitting around for a while, and I probably should have did more with it before I actually started using it. Like, I mixed up the paint and everything seemed fine. I let it sit for an hour or two and then started pouring this. Now, there's an effect that is created in the bottom left of the screen, which I really liked. That white space to the bottom left of the screen right now. It's the top right of, from my perspective, it's the top right, but it's the bottom left for you. I really like that effect because it kind of looked like fire a little bit. Looked like fire coming, like the colors were making some sort of a fire. So I decided to leave that alone. So I tilted away from it to leave the fire. So I tilted elsewhere, and then I left that one part. At this point, it didn't matter. I just wanted to do something better than what I had done previously. So that was really the whole point of this. And I think I succeeded. So that's good. So I'm just going to touch up my sides, and then I'm going to do a close-up of the painting. This is going to take a minute. I wasn't dabbing it like I did the white. I was just trying to make sure that all of my corners were straight. That's the hardest thing about doing fluid art, is making sure your corners are straight. Now, I did make sure my corners were straight with the white, but with the colors coming through, I wanted to make sure that at least there was some on it. You can see me using my pinky. It's not until I started doing these that I realized how big my hands are. Okay, now the close-up, and like I said, that fire, it's upside down, but it kind of looks like fire, and you can see all of the little cells. It kind of looks, what's the word, paisley? It looks completely different than what I thought. So I'm gonna go through this, and then we're out of here. Thank you for watching. Check out PTCAC on Facebook. Holla at your boy. Peace.